All right, we are live with Strategic Gaming. My name is Mac Taylor, and with me today, we're riding just the duo today. It's Tequilla Jaeger. How's it going, Tequila?
Really good, not too bad.
All right. Well, we're gonna do episodes 4 and 5 of BB2, and the first 3 episodes were kind of just like easy riding, and then now's when shit gets real, and it gets real very fast.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dive right into it because we got a lot of things to talk about. I have like a whole page of notes on this stuff to talk about. So right off the bat in episode 4, we find out that Justin has been kicked out of the game. One of like I think 3 times in the history of Big Brothers has ever happened. And it happens on the first season before the first eviction. Uh, but I totally get why, especially like he had the thing with Kent that we talked about on the last episode's podcast. He had some very off-putting comments, and then the icing on the cake is the Krista in the kitchen incident where he basically puts a knife up to her throat and says, "Hey, would you care if I killed you? Or like, would you be mad if I killed you?" What are your thoughts on this? Because like I have some things to say, but like I'm curious on what you were thinking when you saw this.
Okay, so first, I was really shocked that he got expelled because I only heard about the Kent incident. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And then we learned that he gets expelled, and then it goes to the Krista scene, and I was really shocked. Like he did it more than once. He repeated this thing like 3 or 4 times, and and then the kissing and the knife to the neck was really shocking. Especially do this to an intoxicated person. It's nuts. And then it goes to where they do an interview with Justin afterwards, and he's like, I don't see anything wrong with this. Like, I don't understand where you guys are coming from. It was totally fine. I was totally joking. I had a smile on my face all the time with the knife. It's cool. Like, I don't understand why I'm off the show.
Yeah, it really gets to this point to where like as you point out, he has no idea what he did wrong, which is like just is a testament to the fact of how probably clinically insane this guy is. I think after this season they are much more rigorous with their uh they look at these people's mental history a little bit because yeah, and like you can tell Julie is pissed. Like
Yeah.
Julie is visibly like fuck you. Like the whole time. I mean you can see in her eyes. She hates this guy. But yeah, and the house is like split on how they feel about it. You get Kit and Hardy who are like, yeah, fuck that guy. And then you get like Krista and Cheryl and the Chilltown faction, and they're like, like we liked him, but like we get it. Uh, like, how would you feel? Like, would do you agree that this was the right step for Big Brother to take in expelling Justin?
I really do because they even like Julie even says the producers, pulled him back into the room and said, "Hey, these are the rules. You can't be threatening people's lives. You can't be, doing stuff like that." 3 or 4 times he was pulled back into that room and told about this stuff, and he still continued to do it. So I really do think, that they did the right stuff because it was just going to get out of hand even worse and worse. Like the knife. I mean, what could have been next? Like he could have punched a chick or something.
Yeah, he at one point I thought he was actually going to punch Nicole. Like he thought like he was walking in the room, I'm like he's gonna punch Nicole, which I wanted to see what Hardy would do because Hardy was like, I'm gonna kill this guy if he actually steps to somebody. Which to Hardy's defense, because you'll see through this season, I am not a Hardy fan,
Hmm.
but I think at the end of the day, he was like, yes, if something were to go down, I will have even Will, who I don't like, I would have his back because this is not safe. This is not like we're here to play a game, yes, but like this is too far. I agree that his expulsion It probably should have done it with the Kent incident. It probably should have never gotten to the knife incident to
Mhm.
begin with. But it's like immediately when he grabs the knife, they're like, "Yeah, yeah, get in the diary room, please. Can you come to the diary room?" Um, so, which first apologize for the sniffling. It's that time of year. Um, then we get the official name of the first alliance in Big Brother history, which is Chilltown. Everybody else is literally the house, which I was like, fine, I'm okay with this. So it's Boogie, Will, and Shannon. They are the trio that is probably known as Satan in this house. Like they are technically like the evil force driving it forward. And you can tell that it's going to be a battle between everybody and them. So what were your thoughts seeing the lines finally be clear cut?
I think it's better because it's more clean. You know who's on what side for sure, rather than trying to pick and choose your own self to see. Okay, I think Will and I think Shannon are on the team, but then again, you don't really know because they're conversing back and forth with other people. But now it's down the line. It's straight three people against the rest of the house. And it's kind of cool to see Nicole actually be buddy buddies with other people, and other people have her back when they used to not to. And now everybody, is pinning. It's like a war, like Shannon said. It's a war now in this house. I mean, it sucks because there's so much drama, but again, everybody knows what side they lay on.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that. And what's interesting though is you have the house, you have the three, but Krista falls in the middle. She's totally fine with Will and Boogie. I don't know if she has much of a relationship with Shannon, but she loves the boys. And she's in good with like Bunky and Monica and that side of the house and Autumn and like that side of the house as well. So she's at this point in the game, statistically speaking, she's in the best position because neither side wants to shoot for her. And we'll talk more about that later. But like at that point, she should have just been like, "All right, I'm gonna watch this happen because like nobody's coming for me." Uh, then we see Shannon versus Autumn because Autumn, if they didn't smoke for like a certain period of time, they got like a basketball for their basketball court. I
Mhm.
guess Autumn immediately breaks down and smokes, and Shannon gets pissed and like just takes a little too far, but like berates her in all these ways. And Autumn is throwing like every curse word in the book at her. Shannon's more so like knowing what makes Autumn mad and then stabbing those in there. What was your thought? I mean, this is like our first actual like non-physical fight that we're gonna see in the house. What were your thoughts there?
I don't know. Like, I'm tied between like I really don't like Shannon, but I don't like Autumn that much either. But Autumn doesn't really have that much self control, and we seen like when Will did his little experiment, like so automatically she's gonna go straight for that cigarette. She may not be defining the rules of that, she just couldn't help herself. She's a nervous wreck already. So I mean, that cigarette, and that nicotine is helping her sustain herself throughout this whole thing. They don't have TV, they don't have internet, so I mean, like I get it, but it sucks that they don't get time for that basketball now because she messed it up. But Shannon, on the other hand, like I don't think she should have attacked Autumn like hardcore like she did, because that's just like, oh, she was so backlashing for no reason. Like, yeah, I would get mad too, but I wouldn't, be throwing a hissy fit basically about it, like trying to start a cat fight. I mean, you already had this incident with, Justin, and oh, now let's just throw another thing in there. So I mean, I really don't think Shannon should have scooped down to like that kindergarten like level with Autumn.
Yeah, it's like Autumn is a wreck. She is a complete mess. It probably would be the hardest person for me personally in that house to get along with at this point now that Justin's gone.
Yeah.
But Shannon immediately targets like her weight, which she's no by no means overweight or anything.
No.
But Shannon's immediately knowing that Autumn is jealous of Shannon for her looks, so Shannon's going to attack her with that. And like the whole eat a bag of potato chips thing gets blown way out of proportion. And if Shannon would have just kept her mouth shut and or just been like, I don't appreciate the whole smoking thing, but it's fine. We'll work past it. She could have handled it like 1,000 ways that don't result in this fight. Uh, so then we cut to, and I hate their way they do this. I'm glad it does change in the later seasons. Like they show people's reasoning for voting, then their votes, but they intercut it with other shit. I just like when they're live and they bring them in the room, they say their vote, and they get them out and they get the next one in. Because I like to, it's okay, it's voting time. Let me hear those votes. I'll give a shit about the other stuff after the votes, but I care about who's going home. But I think for the first, like season 2, 3, and 4, I think do this. I think season 5 onward, they just bring them in. So Will and Shannon are obviously like, yeah, Nicole, bye. And which we both know those votes were gonna fall there. There was no question about it. Then we get Mike's hair, which threw me for a loop. I forgot it looked like that. And when they cut out, and Julie's like, "Oh, I just want to comment on your hair," and I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, this is definitely 2001. Holy crap!" But we get everybody talking about like, "Oh, it's so hard having to vote somebody out," and like we'll see in the later seasons that goes out the window, because this is still early. Like, this is a game, and they're just now realize like we have to compete against each other. This is not a country and us thing. Nicole, I think during their speech, she has Cheryl go on first intentionally. And I think she fakes her tears there at the end. Like, I think it's just bullshit. Which, like, good on you. Whatever you need to do to get your votes, that's fine. I totally agree. Do what you have to do to stay in the house. But she's like, yeah, you go first. And I can just think in her head, she's like, all right, come on. I got to get something going. I got to get some emotion going here. So what do you think about Nicole's speech? Do you think it was genuine or do you think it was strategy?
I think mostly on her part, it was the strategy. It might have been like half-heartedly. I think she meant some of the stuff, but then I could tell that she was basically just doing it for show, for just like the president of the United States thing. They say what the people want to hear. So I think that's what Nicole was trying to do. So then she can later on strategize more.
And then they do this thing, which they do on every season of Big Brother. This is like a staple thing. Is the people all nominated for eviction? They're going to show their families so we can see what they're like outside of the house, if that differentiates at all. We meet Nicole's husband, who's basically, he's like, yeah, she's a very good player of the game. Yeah, she's very strategic. She's going like, he's so dry, like so. I'm like, no wonder why Nicole is married to this guy, because she's so over the top and he's so low that like she can be over the top, and you can't have two queens. It slams into each other. But then we meet Cheryl's family, who I'm on board with. Like Cheryl, I'm like, wow, Cheryl's a hot mom. Then Cheryl's mom is hot. I'm like, this family doesn't age. Like, oh crap. And then her son was a little odd with that, where he's like, she's putting up the hot mom thing, and that's fine. I'd have been like, this is really weird, and I'm going to have to sit down with Will after this thing is all said and done and talk about his feelings toward my mom. But I get it. He recognizes she's playing a game, and she's doing, to this point, she is doing very well. She didn't really do anything wrong. Then we cut to the votes. Monica evicts Nicole and Hardy evicts Cheryl, and everyone's like, I think this is when the audience is starting to be like, oh, why would Hardy evict Cheryl? And now it's starting, the wheels are turning. Why do you think? Okay, no, I'll go over one more thing and then I'll cut to you, because this is like a general consensus thing. So Mike, we get to him in the HOH room, and he's like, yes, this is a done deal. If it comes down to a tie, I'm still kicking Nicole out of here. We're going to ride through. Like, he is clearly very confident in where this vote is going to lie. He thinks it's going to be close, which he didn't originally think. But has no doubt that Nicole is going to go home. And I think this is the first of very few mistakes that Chilltown will make ever in the history of Big Brother. It is over, and it's a Mike Boogie staple. overconfidence at the wrong time. So then we cut to the rest of the votes. It's Monica, or it's Autumn, Kent, and we find out Bunky are evicting Cheryl. So we get 5-3. Cheryl's out. Cheryl doesn't even look surprised. Boogie looks shocked. So I want to ask you now, why do you think, like, Hardy has a tie to Nicole, but why? But Monica and Bunky are close friends. Why did Bunky flip? Because Bunky is kind of the flip vote that does get the ball rolling. Why do you think the votes fell the way they did?
I think because like he did make a comment. I think later on before he voted Cheryl, that he said that Will and Shannon were really cutthroating people, and they were like, and he could tell that they were pitting people against each other already. So he knew he was getting into something more evil if he would have sided with Will Shannon and Boogie rather than you going to Nicole's side. I think like he finally gets the side of Nicole that he wants, and not the Nicole that was there at the very first day. So I think, everybody besides Will Shannon and Boogie are, I guess, on Nicole's side because she's actually opening up and being herself more now and not being more assertive like she was. So, I mean, I think he's getting more tied to Nicole than he is for Cheryl.
Yeah, for sure. Bunky, and we'll see this, and this is very true with his life as well. He's very emotional. He is very hard on the sleeve. And Will, especially Shannon, I would like to say Shannon, everyone says Will, but really we see Shannon doing this more than anybody. She's like, we're the cool kids. And so she's isolating everybody because Bunky, he's the gay guy. He was never the cool kid in high school. Monica probably wasn't the cool person. Nicole probably didn't have very many friends that could stand to be around her for a given amount of time. Most of these people are not the popular people. So and she tells Autumn this, she says it's the popular people versus the rest of the people, but we're not gunning for you first. Who the fuck says that? Like, that is ridiculous. This is ridiculous gameplay. Like, Will has kept relatively low brow. Yeah, he comes off cocky and arrogant, but he does not say things like that. And Boogie, when you give him the spotlight, he'll probably say something like that, but generally just doesn't run around telling people this. He tries to maintain. Boogie is more sociable. Will is more strategical. Shannon is a hot mess. And this is going to hinder the trio that, like, they've decided to put all the eggs in a basket. So we'll keep moving because Cheryl's evicted, and what a lovely woman. Like, even though they voted her out, she's like, it's fine. I get to eat. I'm gonna go eat some food.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some sushi. Was the best.
Like, it's her main thing. She's like, no, I'm fine. I'm hungry. It's fine. But they're all hugging, and she's like still like keeping the vibe up. And like most evictions, we can see get dark. So Cheryl, she's loved by the house going in. She's loved by the house going out. She has no hard feelings. She knows it's a game. But she even said before she left, you guys should probably go after Chilltown. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. She makes that point. So even if she would have stayed, Cheryl might go after Boogie and Will. So on a grand scheme of all, no matter who stayed, it's probably not going to be good. But Cheryl, her family comes out, and she's happy. Everybody's happy. And Julie's like, all right, yeah, the whole Justin thing fucked us out of the live HOH. So the next episode, we're going to do the HOH. And here's my interview with this guy I vehemently hate, and you can tell very much so. That's episode 4. It's really just the eviction. And the thing about Big Brother, and it actually is very nice that it works like this, the first eviction takes so long. It's like the longest time in the game. Because it's 2 weeks of just not much. Once that first blood's drawn, the game gets going. And Big Brother 2 being the first season, it sets that up. Cheryl's gone. Boogie's pissed. Will's pissed. Shannon's pissed. The rest of the house they're riding a high. They're finally going to get revenge and turn the tide, so to speak. So we cut to, or we go to episode 5. Nicole and Hardy are just like way up here. They are ecstatic. But of the two, do you think this stayed? Do you think Nicole is going to be more entertaining moving forward, or do you think Cheryl would have been entertaining moving forward with, this drama we're about to see? Because I personally think Nicole is the best villain. She tries to be a hero, but she is not a good person. But like, that's okay. We need that. So like, what do you think Cheryl would have been better? Or do you think first eviction for Cheryl is probably her best bet?
I think she could have done really good with, like, if she would have stayed and not got evicted. Cheryl would have been more lively, I think, because she was already the fun mom anyway. Everybody was classifying her as. So I really think she could have done really well. Nicole, I even seen whenever she was talking earlier, she's really serious. Like, I mean, you need to be serious in Big Brother, but you also need to have a fun side too, and not have everything so serious all the time. So, I mean, yeah, Cheryl, I'm sad that she left. I think it's better for the game since she left, but if she would have stayed, I think it would have made it like funner in a sense.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And we get, and I'm curious on your thoughts on this too. Chilltown knows it's on. They know like we're kind of fucked here, and Boogie is trying to figure out who flips. Like he knows, like he doesn't know that Monica's the one that voted with them, but he's going around trying to figure it out, and they're all getting pissed. But really, trying to figure out where your votes lie if you came out of a wrong situation kind of ends up being Big Brother 101. You got to keep track of your votes. Um, then we get this, and this is what I wanted to ask you about the sex scandal, flirt gate. So Autumn is saying that Boogie tried to sleep with her to get her vote. But like we've seen in the past episodes, she's been up Boogie's ass. And like maybe he was like, yeah, I'll give her a little bit back just to kind of, for good graces. But I don't think he vehemently was like, yeah, I'm going to fuck this chick and get a vote. Like, what do you think? Like, whose side are you on? Are you on Boogie? Are you on Autumn? Or is there a middle ground?
I don't know, like, I want to play neutral on it, but again, like, Autumn had it coming. Like, she wasn't just up Boogie's ass, she was up Hardy's, she was trying to get with Will. So, I mean, she's been up she's been in the realm of the guys a lot. So, Will was playing, not Will, sorry, but Boogie was playing that to his benefit, so to say. Like, hey, I'm going to sweet talk her in, she's feeling lonely, she's emotional, maybe I can get her on my side, she's already hanging around me anyway, so let me just play it. And then it backfires, and then it starts the whole thing again, like with Shannon and Autumn. It's Boogie and Autumn in front of this whole household scenario, and he's yelling and screaming, and she's all like, everybody's picking on me. So I'm not gonna side with Autumn, and I'm not gonna side with Boogie. Like, I'm gonna stay in the middle ground and say both of them have their pros and cons in each situation.
And like this goes insanely far. Like,
oh yeah,
she's like, you just tried to sleep with me like you thought that would work. And he's like, you were the one saying that if there were black guys in the house, they would give you more attention. I'm like, holy fuck, did she say that? Because there weren't live feeds back then. We have no proof on if that was really said or not. But he seems hell bent on, because she does admit, she does say, I am used to being the center of attention. I'm not getting enough attention. So did she say that black guys would garner her more attention? I don't know. I don't necessarily put it past her.
Yeah.
But Boogie does not help his case at all, because Shannon just had this fight with Autumn. So 1/3 of Chilltown just made, either way, both sides were wrong. And now the second person of Chilltown is, even though it's Autumn, the common denominator, they're still looking bad. They're not looking good. They're already not liked. This does not help your image whatsoever. But Autumn is playing the victim like way too much. Even Krista at one point was like, girl, just suck it up and just play the game. Like, it's wearing on Krista, who's like probably her only like real friend in the house. It's like, girl, you can't do this every damn day. And, So they have a house meeting. And this is, again, another, like, it's so funny how things just develop in this season that happen all the time. House meetings are a common occurrence in Big Brother. And I have not seen one house meeting go well. The house meetings are always like batshit crazy. And this was no different. They get together and you get, Shannon's talking shit. Autumn's talking shit. Chris is like, calm down for a second. Kent's like, let me ask a question. And Shannon starts crying and Autumn starts crying. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, what good television. But like, what did you think of the house meeting?
Yeah, like I thought it was okay. Like it was calm at first, and then yeah, everything just exploded out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, so now that Autumn's okay, and Krista's like, all right, guys, we need to settle down. We need to talk simple about this. Then Shannon flips like a 360, and now she's not the hard ass anymore. She's crying her eyes out like a little baby. And it's like, well, see, this is why like everybody's targeting me, and I just hate that people are like trying to put the stuff on me, and I'm just like, oh, would she just shut up? Like, yeah, it was horrible, so bad. I hated it.
Yeah, because I think this is how Boogie handles the situation a little better than Shannon. Because Boogie doesn't back down from it, which is what makes me believe him just a shred more. Is
Mm-hmm.
because he's like, look, I'm not gonna have you try to say I tried to use like sex to get ahead in this game. I didn't do that. You came on to me, I said fine, and then you started like turning it on me like I'm an asshole. Don't do that to me. And like she was kind of like going back and forth on it, but he was like solid. Shannon, on the
Mm-hmm.
other hand, is like, well, being a bitch isn't working. I'm gonna start crying, even though
Yeah.
no actual tears are gonna come out of my eyes, but I'm gonna act like I'm crying, and I'm gonna like kind of put my face down a little bit, and I'm gonna pause for very long and comfortable amounts of time. And, but like, I felt bad for the rest of the house who has to sit there and listen to this bullshit.
Yeah, more than once too, because I mean, this happened at least 3 times, in this whole episode. Like they went from one argument, rested, to another argument. Like they didn't have time to like emotionally cope with any of this stuff.
And really, the person who gets the shaft on it is Will, because he's not doing anything. He's just hanging back, like trying to hang out. And both of his allies are just destroying the game that he's technically aligned with. But even after all of that, everybody's still hell bent on Will. And he's probably the least threatening of that trio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the house meeting. We'll try to move forward a little bit because that I could go on a whole tangent about why that was bad. uh Basically the house, even after that meeting, the house is like, yeah, Autumn is super weak. Like they know she's the weakest member of our side. So they're just gonna keep antagonizing her and we're gonna have to keep listening to this shit. We get to second HOH, and again, you can tell this is a low budget thing. This is not like Big Brother of nowadays has extravagant set designs with crazy moving parts. This is yoga mats in the backyard and blindfolds. That is it. That is this competition. And it's trivia about things around the house, housemates, things like that. Ken and Monica are out first. They clearly do not talk to that many people that often. But somehow Will still knows where these people are from. Like the asshole knows where everybody's from. So and then we get Hardy's out, Shannon's out, Will and Autumn, and it comes down to Bunky, Nicole, and Krista for the tiebreaker. And I'm sure Will, Shannon, and Boogie were sweating that Nicole was up there.
Yep.
Of the trio, who were you rooting for? Because I know you watched this for the first time. Who were you rooting for there at the end of that
I to be honest, I really didn't want Nicole to win just for the sake of she needs to like get her her emotions still in check. Bunky, I could kind of see him going for. I wanted Bunky or Krista to win. I was really excited that Krista got it though, because she's playing it really well so far. So it was a tie between Bunky and Krista. Either since I mean Krista got it, I was fine, and Bunky would have got it, I would have been fine as well.
Yeah, so Krista's HOH, and she like runs to her HOH room. She's like, "Yes, I get the private room and snacks." She loves snacks. She was very adamant about this. And Nicole's coming in and like, "Look, if you put Will up, I'll be the pawn. I don't want to go up on the block, but I'll go up on the block if you put Will up. Do me this favor, put Will up." And she's like, "Oh, I love Red Hots. Oh, I love this." Nicole's like, okay, yeah, it's great that you have your snacks and all, but like this plan that I'm trying to put into action, the reason I stayed in the house, could you please help me do it? She's like, what? Yeah, plans? Those are things that we could definitely do maybe moving forward. So these snacks that I'm talking about, I love every second of it because Nicole is pissed by the end of this conversation. What did you think about the snack debacle?
I thought it was really cool because I'm like, hey, she's actually excited about something other than Big Brother and strategy. Like, she's having the time of her life right now because, like, she opens up the fridge. She's like, oh, this isn't really cold right now, but, I will bear the weight. Like, I don't even care. She's so excited, and I loved it. Like, that for after all the shit that happened previously, like, this is a happy moment. Like, yeah, enjoy it and embrace it, basically.
And I think part of it is like she doesn't want to. You said they've had all this drama. She's like, I don't want to talk about nominations. I just got this. Give me like 10. She didn't even let Nicole go in the room. She was like right behind her. It's like, give the girl a couple of minutes. She just got HOH. She didn't expect to be HOH. Probably didn't want HOH besides the snack part. So it's usually a rule of thumb. Someone wins power, unless like the social experiment game we played, it's like the game moves very fast. We have to kind of just scramble to get things done. They have like a whole fucking like 3 days before nominations are made. Give them like 5 hours to just be like, oh, I am HOH. I am not going home. I have snacks. And then be like, oh, hey, all right, do you have a minute? And then go about it. Like, she did not handle that well at all.
Yeah.
There's so many things I could talk about that because I am a strategist. I'm a person that tries to pick apart the situation that someone is in and like what's the best way to move forward. And the whole time she's doing that, I'm just like, no, 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 stop that. Like I wanted to run up with a spray bottle, but like, no, Nicole, no, back. So Krista, she's like, man, I really don't want to have this responsibility, which is kind of what Mike said, but Mike was much more cool with it than Krista is. She's like, I'm just going to go ask everybody else who they want. And then it's like, oh, I didn't nominate these people. You guys did. This is like British Big Brother. We're all just going to pick people and the country's going to vote them out. And Krista is great. And everyone's like, yeah, Will and Boogie, Will and Shannon. Yeah, we're going to go Will and Shannon, Will and Shannon, Will and Boogie, Will and Shannon. And she's like, don't really want to nominate Will or Shannon. Even though all you guys said that, and I said that's what I was going to do. But even Monica's like, look, you got to put one of them on the block. Just put one of them. Like, these people are going to come after your ass if you don't just get one person on the block. Just get one of them. Pick one. Let it be Shannon. And she's like, maybe. I don't know. What did you think about the absolute indecisiveness?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it was funny though on the first time, because yeah, she just recovered from, being ecstatic about like her snacks and her drinks. And now she's like, oh, I actually have to make a big decision here. So, but I mean, I liked how she asked everybody. So everybody, when she's trying to, put people on the block, everybody's like, okay, maybe she'll take my thought into consideration. She's asking why, because she was playing a neutral, and she even said that's what she was going to do. And then, yeah, everybody kept on saying Will and Shannon and Will and Boogie, you got to get this trio, broke up. And she didn't want to do that, which I could understand too, because everybody, Will and Shannon and Boogie already know everybody wants to get at least one of them. So she played it smart, and she put, 2 other people on the block instead of, Will and Shannon, which anybody probably would have picked those two because they're like, it's a love triangle, just split them up and just go. So I really liked what she did with being neutral.
Yeah, I understand the move of not because if she's thinking about it, they're gonna try to pick off the 3 in a row. that pretty much leaves her at the bottom of the rest of that group. Maybe like Autumn goes, but then she's the bottom of the barrel. If she can manage to get everybody else but the trio out, that's final four, and she could probably beat any of those three in the vote at the end. I doubt she thought that far ahead. I don't, but she says the whole time, everyone's like, it's starting to be like, yeah, this is personal. This is a personal thing. And she's like, yeah, I just wanted the money. I just want the $500,000. That's why I'm here, and that's it. I don't give a shit about the potato chips on the bed or the anything else that you're really doing right now. I just want money, and I'm like, I respect it. I respect that mindset, especially the first game that ever was to play. Uh, Here's my question to you: your HOH in this house. Krista's not in the house. It's you in her place. Who do you nominate?
I would have, like, I kind of would have done what Krista would have done and not put Will or Shannon up because that's what everybody would have expected me to do, and I would have put somebody else that was like on my alliance, so to say, like on the other side of the house that wasn't powerful at the time. So I would have probably picked Autumn. Autumn for sure. Like I would have picked her to from the get go because like she is emotionally draining. Like she made me so angry with all her fussing. I just can't handle more just watching it. So actually being in the house with her is probably 10 times worse than just watching it. So I would have put Autumn up, and then probably maybe Boogie. I just wouldn't have put Will and Shannon up just yet, but maybe Boogie. So Autumn and Boogie is what who I would have chose.
Fair enough. Um, so then we get this food competition because back then there was no vetoes, so they had to like have a time filler. So they get food comps, and if it's the guys versus the girls, and whoever loses, they eat nothing but peanut butter and jelly, whole diet. Which compared to what happens with slop later, like this is a luxury to just eat peanut butter and jelly because it tastes like something. Uh, so they have to guess their weights, and they have to the total weight that they guess has to whoever's closest to like everybody's combined weight that they guessed to like their actual weight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these guys were fucking on it with those
Oh
guesses. Like especially like Kent, I would kind of get like Will. Will is very look driven. He probably weighs himself a lot. He probably keeps up with where he's at. Now the 62 part, I don't know how he quite guessed that, but he's pretty up to date with his weight. Kent is probably a guy who never steps on a scale. So he's the dad guy. He doesn't work out. He just hangs out and talks. So it's like he got it on the nose. And at like 200 evil, which is who weighs 200 pounds? It's like 201, 200, 199. Like there's never 200 on the dot, but he gets it. And I was like, holy shit. And Will gets it. I'm like, holy shit. And these girls are like, how'd they do this?
yeah.
Especially Autumn was way off on her weight. She was like 5 or 6 pounds
Mm-hmm.
off. But like, I'm a person, I don't really keep track that much. I'll weigh myself every now and again. If I had to guess, I'm probably not going to be right on the money. So that was super impressive. Shannon, not thrilled about being on PB&J. Autumn is always a mess about everything. So how do you think the girls will do on this PB&J diet versus how the men would have handled this?
I'm sorry to just girls, but in general, like we're really bad with willpower. Like, especially if you see people eat, really amazing food, and you're over here with your stinking peanut butter and jelly for a whole entire week, like that shit will get old real quick. So I feel like they're gonna have to sneak something. I know that they will because that's what I would do. So I don't really like in the guys like guys will do it just to up the girls and say, hey, we actually did it for a whole entire week, and you little people, you're over here, you didn't do it for a whole week. So I think the guys would have done way better than the girls are going to. I really feel like that. But also, I wanted the girls to get more food and the guys to get peanut butter and jelly because just to see how it would have played out. But I really think the girls aren't going to do very well.
I mean, Will and Boogie they fasted for like the longest time. Like
Mhm.
they probably won't eat half the time if they get bored of peanut butter and jelly. And the thing about the PB and J or the slop diet, if you break it, and there's cameras everywhere, if you break it, you get like an eviction vote if you're on the block. Like you get like an instant like one vote. So
Oh,
like they won't fuck with that usually. Like they care about that. And then if you're not on the block, like you'll get punishments. Maybe they'll be like, you have to go on the block and things like that. Like Big Brother will make sure you do your shit. Like they're honest.
wow. Okay, never
Usually, like,
mind then. I wouldn't have cheated then.
I watch live feeds and I see like they hammer these house guests about things that they're supposed to be doing. But again, there weren't any live feeds back in BB2, but I'm sure they were on it just as much as they are, nowadays. Let's see here. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, we see Will's trying to talk to Nicole and try to like mend a fence, kind of. To be like, hey, look, I voted you out. I really don't like you that much. You're probably one of my least favorite people here. I'm not targeting you. You're not the person I'm targeting now. But I really don't like you. That's fine. You don't like me. That's fine. Are we okay? But this is a very Will way of handling a situation. And Nicole's just like, yeah, nah, go. Like she's very just like, no, get out of my face. I hate you. You are the devil. Be gone from me. Uh, do you think either person handled the situation well? Do you think Will did? Do you think Nicole did? Or do you think both people really fucked up that opportunity to end fences?
Yeah, I think both of them messed up with words. Like, you know how like first impressions are like the key of actually wanting to get to know that person more. So Will chose some words that he shouldn't have said to Nicole at this time. So like with Nicole, it's I can see with her if you mess with her the first time and you want to get on good grounds with her, you gotta approach it really slow and you gotta watch your words because she seems like the person that will hold a grudge against you. And like yeah, she already doesn't like Will. And Will coming off the bat and saying, I don't really like you anyway, but we can kind of make this work, but we're still going to hate each other at the same time. So I mean, like that did not fly with Nicole. So she doesn't even care after what he said. Then she doesn't really pay attention. So Nicole, I guess Nicole could have handled it a little bit better and not trying to be a bitch about it. But at the same time, I get where she's coming from.
And I will give Will. I mean, I give Will lots of credit for various moves. Uh, he tells her like, "Hey, this really has nothing to do with your personality as much as it does like the first like our bed situation. You guys are in one room, the rest of us are in another room. I did not talk to you a lot at the beginning of the game, and now I have more friendships with them than I do you, and it's just never going to change."
Mm-hmm.
That was a decent way of handling it, and then he does the same thing with Krista, where he's like, "Hey, first of all, no hard feelings. Second of all, if you got to nominate two people, be like, you guys do the least amount of housework around the house." Two things that Will knows is that one, he does housework, and two, Krista's looking for a way to not get blood in her hands, and he's like, "Krista, please allow me to tell you exactly how to do this. Like, I want you to be okay." And I think that conversation is the tipping point because everybody else is like, you must put up Will and Shannon. You must put up Will and Shannon. And Will's like, hey, whatever you do is fine, but like, this is what I would do. Calm. But Krista, she has to make a choice. It's time. She has to put the keys in the box. And it comes up Kent and Autumn, and like everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, and Will's key is the last key in that box. So she thought about putting Will up. She was teetering on it. And she's like, nope. And I think that conversation is what saved it. What were your thoughts? Why do you think, beyond friendship, beyond anything, why did Krista put Kent and Autumn up? Autumn's probably a little more self-explanatory, but why Kent?
Um, Yeah, see, like I was kind of like on the fence on like why she would put Ken up, but that goes to show like Will talking to Krista and trying to reason with her. it goes to show that you need to connect with the HOH regardless of how you feel your situation is. Like, regardless of, okay, well, I spend time in the background anyway, and me not trying to get into drama, I think that's showing who I really am. But on the other side,
You still there? Fixing some technical difficulties. Hold on momentarily. All right, we are working on some technical difficulties. While Tequilla goes ahead and gets situated in the chat. I'm gonna try to eject you, Tequila, and put you back in. Try that. It's probably the best way to go about this. Oh, and you're gone. And we're gonna wait on her to join. This is the one thing about podcasting live, ladies and gentlemen. You get some faulty internet connections at times. Let's go ahead and I'll touch on probably. Oh, she's coming back. Are you good?
yeah, I'm good. My laptop just died. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, what happened? All right. So continue your thoughts about why Kent.
Okay, so I still really don't know why Kent, other than the fact that he didn't really try to I guess talk to Krista a little bit just to see where he laid. Because I mean, like I said, Will coming in. I mean, since you said that was the last person she like that got his people, he just saved his ass by talking to Krista and reasoning with her all alone. Kent hasn't really tried to talk to anybody at all in the house. He's just staged himself. So I think that's the only reason why she put him up, and she has to think of a reason why. My reasoning is he didn't make connections when he should.
Yeah, and but both nominees are seem like they saw it coming. Like Autumn's like, yes, I get it. She said I was losing myself. I think I'm losing myself too. I need to put my game face on and get back in this. And Kent's or somewhere, Kent's like, yep, saw this coming. It was gonna happen. I'm like, how? How did you see this coming?
Yeah.
And like, if you saw it coming, why didn't you fucking say something? Like, holy shit, Kent. Like, I love you. But damn, dude, you make it really hard to get behind you sometimes. In Chilltown, they're stepping back like, holy shit. Like, our plan backfired, but like, we're good.
Yeah.
Nobody nominate us. We're all fine. There's 3 of us, and none of us are on the block in a veto-less season. Do you think the move to not nominate Chilltown will negatively affect Krista's game, or do you think it will positively affect her game moving forward? And then we'll kind of wrap up for today.
I really would like it to benefit her in a sense because they thought one of them, or 2 people out of the 3 were going to get split up. and Will trying to make a connection and Krista thinking reasonable about it. Maybe later on, when she's not HOH anymore, and say Will or Shannon or Boogie again could get HOH. Hopefully, then they'll actually see that she kind of played mercy in a sense because everybody in the house knew what Will, Shannon, or Boogie did, and are afraid of what they're gonna do. So I really think it should affect her positively rather than negatively.
Yeah, but I go back to the point of like I don't think she should have tried to win this because if Will, Shannon, or Boogie walk out of the house and it's not her HOH, she's like, all right, sucks. I like them, but I'm playing HOH next time. If one of them wins and the other side wins, then one of them gets picked off, she's like, cool, fine, I'm still good. She should sit back because there are still 10 people left in this game, and when you're making such a huge move this early, uh, you still got a lot of game left to play, and you've already basically been like, yeah, I know you guys want things to happen, but I'm not going to do anything that you guys tell me to do. I'm playing my own game, in which like I respect the balls. She has got balls, but that I would not personally. Maybe that says I'm a pussy for it, but like I would never make that move that early. Like back to the season of the social experiment I played, I had opportunities to make like a big flashy move and I didn't, but I ended up in the final two. So it I can probably make the argument that like that's probably the best move I could have made because had I made that big flashy move, I guarantee you I'd probably go out in like fifth or fourth place. So yeah, we're gonna go next time. We're gonna do episodes 6 and 7. I think we'll get another eviction. Uh, and what might have a new HOH to talk about. Jada will be here next time. We'll get her thoughts on the whole Justin thing. I'm really excited to hear what Jada has to say about the Justin. Uh, yeah, I think these 2 episodes were very packed. Whereas, we didn't have a lot to talk about in the other ones. And from here on in, we're going to have a lot to go through. So, thank you again for being part of this journey. I'm having fun so far. All right, so we're going to be signing off for strategic gameplay. Thank you guys for watching.